Hey, today I want to share with you the absolutely most important single piece of advice that I can give to any student who has taken the IELTS test and not achieved their target scores. I found this out about 6 months ago. I've been sharing it with all of my students. It's on my blog, it's on my podcast, but I am not a very famous IELTS teacher yet, and so word has not got out. And that's what I want to do today. I want to spread the word about this hack that you can use to find out the exact scores you got in your previous IELTS test. Let's not waste time, let's go. One of the main complaints that every IELTS test taker has made for years is that their results are like a black box. What do I mean? Well, I mean that when you receive your results, all you are given is a single score for each of the 4 areas. So you get a score for listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Now, for listening and reading, you can kind of understand how well you did in the exam because the scores you need for each band are published. So, for example, if you need a 7 for academic reading, you're going to need to answer roughly 30 or 31 correct answers. So for those 2 modules, you can look at that listening score and reading score and more or less understand where you went wrong or you went right. You don't know which exact questions you got wrong, but you do know how many questions you got wrong. However, for speaking and writing, things are more complicated. We know, for example, for speaking, your final score is made of a component of 4 different bands. They are the bands the examiner gives you when you leave the test room. So if you got, for example, 6.5, all you know is that you either got 2 6s and 2 7s, or you got 3 7s and 1 6. That's right, IELTS rounds the scores down for speaking and the individual parts of writing. How do I know? Well, I'm already in quite a lot of trouble with IELTS, but let's just say I used to have a job that started with an E and ended with an R. So, the problem you have sitting at home looking at your scorecard is you don't know which of the 4 parts of the exam you didn't reach your target score in. Maybe it was fluency and coherence, maybe it was Lexis, maybe it was grammar, maybe it was pronunciation. You just don't know. Of course, if you're working with a teacher, they will be able to help you understand, but for many students who are self-studying, it is simply a black box. The situation is even worse for writing, because here you have 1 score, again, let's say a 6.5, but you don't know your exact scores for task 1 and task 2. Maybe your essay was amazing. Maybe you got a 7 in your essay, but maybe your task 1 was weak. Maybe you didn't find the key features if you're an academic student, or you had a mixed tone if you're a general training student, and it was actually the letter that let you down, or the report, not the essay. So not only do we not know which part of the test you performed least well in, for each part we also now have 4 bands, right? So there are 4 bands for the letter or the report and 4 bands for the essay. And again, you just don't know where you went wrong. Lots of students that I work with seem to always think their problem is Lexis, but when they come to me and I analyse their writing, very often it's task response or coherence and cohesion or something they just don't realise. Plus, you may have different problem areas in the 2 parts. Maybe in your task 1, you've got a problem with grammar, but in your task 2, the problem is coherence and cohesion. Again, it has been a black box until now, because there is now a special hack or loophole you can use to ask IELTS to give you the breakdown of your scores. So that means not just the overall band score for speaking and writing, but the specific scores you got in each part of the band descriptor. How is that possible? Well, a few years ago, the European Union introduced a rule called GDPR, which stands for General Data Protection Regulation. Now, really, this rule was designed to stop companies or businesses taking your personal details and selling them to another company. So, for example, if you signed up for my IELTS newsletter, which you should, I can't now sell or give that information to anybody else. More importantly, now if anybody messages me and says, Shelley, I want to know what information you have stored about me, I have to show them anything I have on my computer that is connected to them. Guess what? You can use the GDPR rule to ask IDP or the British Council to show you the information they have stored about you on their files, and that includes the breakdown of your test results. So, how do you apply for GDPR? It's super simple. You just have to email IDP or the British Council and ask them to provide the information they have about you. To help you do this, I have created a template letter that all you need to do is copy and paste and add your personal details. It's simple stuff like your passport number, the centre number where you took the test, the date you took the test. It's all information that you should have. If you send that to the correct address, and this is not the address of your test centre, this is a specific address that they have for any privacy queries. Every company needs one of those. IELTS will, in 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes even more quickly, send you an email that will have something like this attached. A simple document where you can see the breakdown of every part of your exam. Plus, if you've done multiple tests, some of my students before this rule came had done 10, 11 tests, you can ask for all of them. There is no limit. Maybe most importantly, because this information comes pretty quickly, you may be able to ask for a breakdown and then look at exactly what scores you got in the speaking or the writing and use that information to decide if you want to apply for an EOR, an evaluation of results, where you pay some extra money to IELTS to ask your test to be marked again by a senior examiner, and then your score may be changed. And if it is changed, you get your money back. So for some students, it can be quite a good gamble, particularly if you know where you lost points in the original marking. For some of my students, if they tell me the ideas that they used and the arguments they made and they got a 6 for task response, I often say to them, let's go for it. I'm confident that you addressed the question. I think we can get this score changed. But in any case, if you have taken the exam and have not reached your target score, the only way to improve is to pinpoint exactly where you went wrong, work on that element, and then sit the exam again once you have improved. And now you can get this breakdown that is going to make your life and your teacher's life a lot easier. So, if you found this information useful, I'm sure you did, please share this video, hit the like button. Why not subscribe for a new lesson every Friday where I'm here to guide you to reach your IELTS scores. I'm Shelley and this is my IELTS classroom. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you found the content useful, please click like to help the channel and don't forget to subscribe for new lessons every Friday. Plus, you can find more expert content at www.myieltsclassroom.com.